Well, we got the Little Belt Mountains in the rear view mirror. We're going to head down to White Sulphur Springs for some fuel. And then I'm going to try to make Rexburg, Idaho Walmart parking lot tonight. Resupply there tomorrow morning. And then getting ready for the next adventure, which I hope you'll join me for. Please consider subscribing, because next video, it's going to be Canyonlands National Park down in Utah. Beautiful Big Sky Country, Montana. Here we are in kind of the rolling hills. Really pretty. It sure makes me happy to have my van and the freedom to basically go wherever I want to in this great country that we live in. Sure is pretty, isn't it? Good morning from Rexburg, Idaho. Spent the night here in the Walmart parking lot. Sun's about ready to come up over the storefront. I slept amazingly good. It was pretty quiet around here. And there's a Walmart gas station here, and I'm gonna fill up and I'm gonna hit the road, heading for Canyonlands. The weather's gonna be really nice. Shorts and t-shirt weather. Coming out of the mountains. I'm gonna find a place to pull over, start up the generator, get some electricity, pull out the clippers and clean myself up. Yeah, you can't fight aging, let me tell you that. All right, let's get cleaned up a little bit. All right, generator's fired up. What do you think? Keep the stash? No. Years younger. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 years. Okay, still on the road, heading to Canyonlands, and I'm south of Pocatello, Idaho. I'll tell you what, if he stops somebody for speeding right here, the speed limit on 15 South in this part of Idaho is 80 miles an hour. So if somebody gets stopped for speeding, we're cooking. Starting to see some fall colors here in the mountain passes. Well, it was good to get off of I-15. That whole thing, Ogden, Salt Lake, Provo, Orem, whatever, that whole strip, it's tough traffic through there. Anyway, enough on that. Here we are. We're east of Provo now, went through the mountain pass, and we're getting over here into the central part of Utah. You can tell that the landscape is quite different over here. It certainly is a lot drier. Interesting looking though. I've been to Moab before. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm on 70 East. That's pretty desolate around here. I'm about 49 miles from Moab. Going by Arches National Park. The entrance is on this side road over here to the right. And then I don't know, can you see the vehicles going up through the tunnel up there? On the right hand side. We're not going to Arches, we're going to Canyonlands. Alright, I'm about 15 miles from Canyonlands. And there's no camping out in the boondocks here. There's no like BLM land or any place you can park. It's all protected. There are signs that say no camping. Quite a gorge cut down in there. It's a quiet morning. Number one, Canyonlands is a beautiful spot, and it does get a lot of visitors and tourists. But this time of year, end of September, I guess if I said before, as I've said before, wow, it's not that crowded. And there's the regular tourist turnoffs where you can park and take pictures, and it's loaded with people. But if you look around, you can find a place like this where there isn't anybody, and you get some peaceful quietness. Some of the people, some of the tourists, some of the city people, I'm not putting them down, but oh, the way they react and relate to nature is funny to me. To me, to be free, to be alone in the wilderness, the feeling that you get, knowing this is the natural world. I would have loved to have been an explorer back in the day. I guess I still am an explorer in this day and age. John Wesley Powell mapped all this country out here, rafted the Colorado down to the Green River. A one-armed Civil War veteran. Big old grizzly beard. Back in the 1800s. Imagine being out here in the 1800s with nothingness. Think about what you had to do to plan to survive. Okay, this is the Lathrop trailhead. I'm taking this because it really goes a long way down into the canyon. You can see it's 10.8 miles to the Colorado River. I'm not set up to do that today, but I plan on going down to some overlooks where I can see the water. And I'm picking this trail also because There's nobody here. Few cars. And one of them is a government rig, so they got somebody down there on the trail. They're probably making sure that the people that are going for multiple days, you do need a backcountry permit to go down here and camp. Well, we're just going to do a long day hike. So I'm glad you're with me. Let's go. This will be an adventure. It looks sunny and hot out today, but there's a little gentle breeze. You might get to 80. I'm acclimated to the heat, so it's not going to bother me, but I did bring my pack, and I have with me a really good first aid kit, a knife, a Garmin InReach GPS, 2 bottles of water, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a snack, and an apple. And I have a hat too, in case the sun gets too hot on my head. I have a t-shirt as well to put on in case I want to get shielded from the sun if it's that strong. So we're going to go along the trail here and drop off over the side and go see what we can see. Away from people. We want to be alone. When you're alone, it's 100% thinking time. Reflection, planning, your future. Living this life is all about productivity. I don't care what anybody says. When you live a full life, you're trying to be productive. You're trying to accomplish things. A trip like this accomplishes things. It gives you experiences. Lets you see the country. Gets you out into nature. It gets you away from your everyday work and chores. You got to take time to do this. Now, when you're young and you have to work and pay the rent and all that, you don't get as much time to do this stuff as you do when you're retired or, you know, financially stable to where you can not have to work anymore. But you need to find time to do this kind of thing. This is really important. It's important to me. It's important to my psyche, I can tell you that, to be out here and do this kind of stuff. This kind of reminds me of walking through the dunes to get to the ocean front, to the beach, you know. You're schlepping all your stuff, your cooler, your chair, your umbrella, whatever. And back in the day, the kids, and then you come over the rise and there's the water. Here, we're going to come to the edge of the canyon. Lots of different rock formations. Still haven't dipped over the edge yet. Well, life can teach you a lot of lessons for sure. Life is a teacher. But I think it's what you choose to learn and study in your free time, especially when you have solitude. It's really important to focusing on quality of life, planning financial independence, the quality of your health, your longevity. And so many people, they're so much into the instant gratification or playing or buying toys and spending their weekend out partying or whatever. Those are many, many hours that that they're not really thinking productively. And that's a shame. And I'm not saying you can't have fun. Certainly, that's a part of life. It's what makes life worth living. But you do need to be spending more time, I think, especially younger people, on planning, on productivity, on financial independence, on the quality of their life, the quality of their relationships, the quality of their health. All these things are really important. When you get older in life, you start spending time on thinking, hey, how many years do I have left and what am I going to do with those years? And I do that a lot because I want to be around a long time. Kind of on a flat mesa here. So it looks like we're close to the edge of dropping over. There's a river. There's the trail right there. You see it? Imagine the trail just winds back and forth all the way down. All right, this Lathrop Trail is not really a trail when you get to this part of the journey, because I'm going to show you something here. That wash right there, not from the top of the rim obviously, but below that rim, you see that wash that comes all the way down, all the way down. That's a scramble. It took me over an hour to work my way down through that safely. So, you know, I did it in running shoes. I would have liked to have had something a little bit stouter than that. Otherwise, the trail you can hike in regular walking shoes. But I'd have something a little bit more rugged to come down this trail, if that's your plan. Okay, I just came down another section, which really isn't a trail, it's just a wash. And again, it's a scramble, and there's a lot of loose stones and sand. It comes right down through this area here. And I would say you got to be acclimated to hot, dry temperatures, bring plenty of water, and you really need to be in shape. I would say, you know, it's not a technical climb in terms of needing rope and things like that, but I'm telling you what, the hike up out of here, it's going to be a bitch. I'm not going to go too much farther. I'm going to stay in the shade, consume a little bit of my water allocation for the first half of this hike, and then wait for the sun to go over on the other side before I hike out. This is quite the hike. If you wanted to take this a full 10.5 miles or whatever it is to the river, start early in the morning and pack light. Take what you need, but pack light, because coming down those steep washes in the rocks, that's some work, but fun. So I went further down the wash, and there's running water. That's a mountain goat, some kind of mountain sheep track. I found this small seep, and I'm seeing if I can get some hydration out of it. It's really slow, but I've got a little place where I can pull up, as you saw, and while I'm waiting for the sun to move over to the other side, which won't probably be for at least another hour, I thought I would see if I can add to my hydration level before I hike out. I have one more bottle of these by, which I'm going to ration myself on the way out. It's been a long day of hiking. I planned it out pretty well though. I started out figuring I'd have just enough time to get back to the van before it got dark. And I'm gonna make it, it looks like. The sun has set. It's a tequila sunset, not a tequila sunrise. Anyway, the Lathrop Trail hike. You better be a good hiker. You better take a lot of water if you're someone who needs significant hydration. Of course, that depends on the weather, the temperature. It was a relatively hot day. It wouldn't be as hot as it is in the summer. It's September after all, but I think it got into the 80s today. The climb down through that wash where you make a pretty big drop into the wash at the bottom, that's a scramble. There's rock cairns that try to direct you, but it's not well marked. They got to do some trail maintenance on that thing. It's not worthy of a national park trail, I can tell you that. You go to the Grand Canyon, you drop into trails in the Grand Canyon, they're perfect. Very well maintained, very well groomed, but you know, I guess it depends on the money that gets allocated to things here. But Canyonlands is beautiful. If you haven't been here, you got to be here. You can also take raft trips into Canyonlands. I did that with some buddies when I was younger, when I was working for a company that was having a meeting in Phoenix, and a bunch of us flew in early, drove up to Moab, got together with a rafting tour, and went all the way down through Canyonlands. 3-day, 4-day rafting trip. That was fun. It was fun to see the canyon from down there at the river. Anyway, I guess I'll sign off for now and get to the van. I found a place to stay not far from Canyonlands. It's back up to the highway, so about 27, 29 miles from here. And it's on the right hand side going north. What is that highway, 113? Anyway, state run. You pay a fee. You do it online.
It's pretty nice. They got lots of open space. It's like camping on BLM land. There's no facilities. So that's where we're headed tonight. Goodbye.